Hello, everybody, and welcome to session 4 of Pillars of Ink, a Printweaver campaign, which has been written by N.L. Morrison. Please go check out the system, it is amazing. I am Mary, your game master. I use they, she pronouns. And as always, whenever we start a new session up, we're all going to go around and say, hey, who we are, your pronouns, and who you are playing. And we'll go into a recap and content warnings and the game itself. So, we're going to start with Abhishek. Go clockwise.
Hey everyone, my name is Abhishek Matange. I go by he, him pronouns. I'll be playing Vago Viator, who uses they, them pronouns.
Angela.
Hello there, lovelies. My name is Angela Lemos Morebeja. I use she, her pronouns, and I'll be playing Luz del Valle, who also uses she, her pronouns.
RJ.
Hello, everybody. I am RJ. Today I'm playing Hale. We both go by he, him. He's a stinky bastard man, and I'm just trying my best.
The stinky bastard man returns after leaving his hometown. And last but not least, we have Amber, who will also be doing our recap.
I'm Analog Amber, and I will be playing Mariana Cross, who uses she, her pronouns. Last session, we spent the day in Perth and woke up to a wonderful breakfast of eggs, bacon, and bread, of which Mariana asked for honey and cinnamon for. We headed to Emily's for divination, who used bread as opposed to tea leaves to divine. We were given 3 assignments we could possibly do. Look into the ink that's in the river, find the missing and monstrous people over the river, or go to the south, where Hale went before and lost some friends. We also did a little bit of weapon training with Hale, Luce, and Vago, training weapons with Emily. We also were told of a professor that is at one of the pillars, Professor Villette. This tickles Luce's brain, but she's not really sure why. Mariana was hoping for a vision from her mom and her dad, but no such luck. Emily offered to mail a letter to Mariana's parents for her, which Mariana did not take her up on. During the day, everyone spent their time separately, Hale meeting another traveler named Amelia and hanging out with Anna afterwards. Mariana bathing and crying in the corner of the shower, as is usual for some of us. Vago spent the day at the apiary, soaking in the sun and the bees, and Luce helps Hannah chop vegetables for that night's dinner. That evening, they have their last dinner in Perth with all of Hale's family and Emily, and are planning on heading out the next morning to go investigate the ink in the river.
Thank you very much, Amber. I'm also going to direct everyone's attention to the content warning I just put in the Twitch chat. Printweaver is a Gothic Souls-like game. It has heavy themes of death, rebirth, and violence, which we will probably be getting back to today after some of the emotional trauma that we've had over the last couple sessions. Your safety is very important, so if you need to step away and take a break, please do so. The cast is using safety tools on and off screen, and are also taking our own safety into account. Okay. And I believe that is it. Meaning, we get to go to the game now. As Amber and Mariana have already told us, you spent your last day in Perth and began to head north to the mouth and the source of the river, which is located in the start of a mountain range. It's not a mountain range proper, it's just the most southern tip of it. The full mountain range is actually a little farther to the north. It gets much, much colder up there. The 4 of you have set out that last morning where you all said your goodbyes to Emily and Hale's family and have begun your trek. The farther north you go, are you following the river, or are you trying to stay away from the river?
I think the easiest way to do it is just to follow the river, but up to the party.
I agree too, because there is a possibility, although probably not a large possibility, that something else is contaminating the river. So if we are too far away from it, then we may not see a contaminant.
We shoot past whatever's contaminating and just to find like clear river, like, oh no.
Yeah, that's it. We're like, when did that happen?
All right. So you stick near the river. And as you are continuing to travel north, you do notice that the farther you go, the darker ink stains you see in the clear blue waters. They are thicker, a little more slick and oily looking, but it seems to get diluted the farther south it goes.
So what you're saying is we're on the right track.
Yes, correct.
Gosh, we headed all this way north, and imagine if it like stopped.
It could just stop mid-river, and then you'd have to figure out where the source is. But that's not what's happening here.
Or we can just move Perth upriver to the clean part. Sorry. So, anyone else notice that the water's getting kind of muddled?
Yeah,
Mariana
I kind
will-
of did.
Oh, yeah, Mariana will stick her finger in it as you're talking.
Mariana, please do not do that. You don't know where the water's been.
Same thing, south. Shut up. Says the ghost of God. But no, yeah. Mariana, when you touch the water and you pull it away, it's wet, of course, but it does feel slick and oily and leaves a black, shiny residue.
I'll wipe it on the grass while Vago is saying what they were going to say.
Yeah, I think I did kind of notice that. So I guess whatever. I guess we're getting closer to whatever is doing that to the river.
Great. Lovely.
Wait, what?
No, that was just... I'm sorry, it's not you. As just... Things are happening to my home, I feel a little anxious. And when that happens, I get a bit catty.
Clearly.
Understandable, though. You want your friends and family to be safe.
Also, I'm very much hoping that whatever is going on upriver is a solvable problem and not persistent. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm inclined to believe it will be a solvable problem. In some ways hopeful. The problem is that it will likely be very dangerous. I don't imagine something this unpleasant and corrupting is a natural phenomenon.
I mean, and nothing lasts forever, right? So, I mean, we've got to be able to stop it somehow.
Or at least investigate and report back. Wasn't there also a village that we were supposed to check up on somewhere upstream? Am I misremembering?
It was across the river. There was. Let me go to my very accurate and detailed map. Yes, it was across the river that there was a village where people were disappearing and not coming back or returning monstrous. Unless we're
Yes.
referring to something else that I have completely forgotten.
I can't remember what I said, but I'm pretty sure I did say something across the river. There is some kind of settlement across the river. It's not on this side.
Where people are coming back monstrous.
Yeah.
Mariana, what's Spreadly?
What?
Hale will just point to a spot in their notebook where it's spelled out. Spperadly?
I believe that's supposed to say separately?
Oh,
It's been a long couple of days.
you know what? Whatever shorthand helps you the best.
Maybe we should go upstream separately, Hale.
I think that's a bad idea,
Be
considering...
separated from your body.
Ooh,
Whoa,
ooh.
whoa.
It just got violent real quick.
Whoa.
Escalation from catty one side to murderous on the other side is so strong.
I
Sorry,
take back
when-
everything I said. I'm sorry.
When my friends' friends and family are in danger, I get catty. No, I think whatever it might be. I mean, we were able to handle an entire city falling down around us, right? So whatever this is, I'm sure we can take care of it, or get some people to help take care of it.
Yeah.
Should we keep going? She's still trying to get the last of the ink off of her fingers from where she dipped her hand in the river.
Yeah, it's
Hell-
kind of like sticking. Like the real life equivalent would be like when oil, you need to like clean off oil from folks who, like animals that have like gotten into like an oil spill. Like it's that kind of like sticking.
I cast Dawn.
Nice try.
See, I was just gonna go with the direction of like it's like when you try and eat like a bit of molasses on toast and it's just like all sticky and stuck
Oh,
on
gosh.
bread.
Mhm.
So you're continuing on. Yes.
How much, how far are we able to have traveled, since we left? Have we made good progress? Or
Yeah.
has it been difficult?
It's been pretty smooth. Surprisingly, you have not met any monsters so far on this side of the river. You have heard them, like off in the distance, the yells and growls of something that is not just simply a wolf or other wild animal. This side of the river is also less populated with trees, so you are able to see a good distance off into like the grasses and the fields and in general. So you would, unless it's like invisible or it's coming at you with some kind of magic, you'll see any danger coming, or if it's aerial.
Hopefully that dragon doesn't come back again.
Just a quick recount. What are our ranged options?
I can throw a rock.
I believe we just gave away our last range option, which is to say I did, and I'm perfectly happy to have done so.
This big ass glaive on your back.
Really though, if you're strong enough, you don't need to do it when it's far away. You can wait till it comes up.
Well, there also comes the problem of what if we get encountered while we don't have any cover? Anyway,
Then I hope whatever we're dealing with dies quickly.
I agree.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan to me.
Hale begins to walk. He steeples his fingers together, pressing them to his lips in a very concerned manner.
I love that the strong folk are like, what do you mean cover?
That's
the
all
strong
three
folk
of
are
you!
Yeah, exactly.
You
We
know-
know. We know.
you-
We didn't choose
you
to be
know-
the stinky cat man.
I'm the Dex build.
What do you mean you don't fight in the open?
So anyway, you keep going north?
Eh.
Okay. So you continue north and the sun begins to set right about at the time you hit the base of these tall, rocky hills and mountains with a bunch of switchbacks inlaid into the rock face. And high above you as the water falls down, falling over rocks, making a lovely sound, even though the image of its slick blackness absorbing the light is less than desirable. High above you.
We should find some place safe to make camp for the night.
I agree. We should do watches again, like last time, too.
Yep,
I agree.
Let's move away from the water for the time being.
You think it's dangerous in there?
You know, I just don't fancy the thought of something crawling out of the water, ink-stained, and accosting us in the middle of the night, even with the circle.
You mean like ink slugs?
Yes, especially the ink slugs.
I don't want any ink slugs in my ear. Let's build it away from the water.
Vago just glares and Hale at the mention of ink slugs.
Sometimes snakes come out of the water. Do you think there's ink snakes?
Well, whatever's infected with the ink, there's definitely a ink variant of.
Amalia did mention getting impaled by a big ass snake.
Oh yes, I think there are. The traveler back at Perth was killed by a giant snake.
I'm still getting used to people getting killed and talking to you afterwards.
You and me both.
Weird that it's a regular occurrence here, huh?
So what are watches?
They're a device that you put
For timekeeping.
oftentimes on your wrist for your timekeeper.
Mariana was okay with taking last. So if people prefer to, I could sleep first and then take watch. However, people prefer to sleep.
Hale could take first watch.
I'll take a second.
Guess that leaves Vago with third.
Middle watch is such a crappy draw because you have to wake up and then go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. So who was it? You said it was Mariana who took first?
Last.
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 Hale for first.
Okay, so it's Hale for first. Hale, during your watch, you feel the air whip up a wind a little bit. It is a normal wind. Like, it's nothing weird about it, but like you feel the wind and you smell rain on the air.
Is it that burning ozone chlorine sort of smell? Is the storm approaching?
Storm is approaching. It has been cloudy all day. But yeah, it has definitely picked up and the wind starts to get a little stronger. But other than that, you don't see anything on your watch.
If we had started up a fire, Hale will build a small wind wall towards where the wind is coming from to keep it up. Wake up, Loose.
Very, creakily gets up. It's like, oh, well, I suppose we're back to doing this again.
Yep. Just a bit of a warning. It might storm in a bit.
I will keep it in mind.
If you thought I was a wet cat of a man before, wait until I get actually wet. And he'll walk over to his bedroll and plop down.
Loose, as if Hale's warning was that magic catalyst, it starts to rain on your watch. Very consistent and heavy.
This is going to become uncomfortable very quickly.
I don't think y'all have tents, so I think it is safe to say that everyone notices.
Yep.
Even if you are dead asleep.
Oh no.
Far do you think we came back from the river, like to camp?
Logically, in my head, it's like at the edge of a tree line, essentially. If we find one.
There's definitely some trees. Not full forests, but there's like small clusters.
I think that is from the river.
At most a quarter mile.
That idea won't work. Mariana will sort of try to like just shrink herself into her like bedroll, just like just accordion herself as small as she can to try to prevent getting wet. I was hoping we could gather some ink and waterproof bedrolls, but that doesn't sound like it's going to be a possibility.
Luce, nothing else happens on your watch. And neither does anything happen on Vago's watch or Mariana's. Just rains. Miserably. And you hear the sound of thunder off in the distance. Occasionally seeing lightning ripple across the sky. Every once in a while hitting a lone tree off in the fields off to the east.
Is it too late to turn back around?
You're only a day away from Perth.
I feel
Please,
like we would
someone
have
say
encountered this at some point in our journeys. Just stinks that it so happens to be this day.
Agreed.
Doubly agreed.
But yes, other than a miserable rain, you are not approached by anyone or anything, no sky mountains. Just terrible weather.
No ink snakes?
No ink snakes. There's maybe like one regular snake.
That's one of those, like, it tries to leap out and Luce, not even looking at it, just catches up.
He just wants somewhere to be warm.
You can do it away from trying to bite me.
Are we in
Okay.
a position that we can see a river mouth from where we are? Like, yes, we know mountains are further back. I'm sure we can see at least outlines of those. How long can we estimate how long it will take?
It'll maybe take in good weather it'd probably take like an hour or two to get to the top, where you think roughly the area where the mouth of the river is. The rain does not stop in the morning, so it will probably take longer. But yeah, it's daytime only because you can only tell it's daytime because of your internal clocks. Let's put it that way. And the slightly brighter sky compared to the night sky.
Mariana will suggest that instead of trying to do like anything spectacular for breakfast, probably whatever dry rations we have sort of on the way, just so we can, maybe there's more coverage up there. Maybe it'll stop by the time we get there. Just to be on the move.
And Vago looks in their bags and sees a lunch from Hana. I wish I could eat you, but now you're also.
You could have eaten it like in the day previous.
Yeah, what are you talking about? You waited to eat that food? I got it first dibs.
Well, yeah, but I wanted to save it because, listen, meals like that are hard to come by.
It's like potions in a JRPG. You have to spend that shit, or you're just gonna hoard it.
No, you hoard all of your potions and all of the good things
No.
until you need them, and then
All
never
of you-
need them.
I say this with all the love.
I subscribe to this ideology.
I also hoard.
You have sinned. You have sinned. All of you have sinned, except for Hale.
What's a JRPG?
Oh no. Oh no.
Some of them have become self-aware.
Why is his outfit just made of belts?
Mariana will explain to Vago that it may be possible to cook some of the water off if you can cover it. It won't be as tasty, but it'll still be pretty good, I think.
You probably put them in oiled, like waterproof as possible cover, so it's not completely soaking.
I mean, all things considered, if it's like a rice and meat dish, that's just a stew waiting to happen, baby. It's already got water in it. Just heat it up.
Vago does not know how to feel about this statement.
Luce also does not know how to feel about Hale specifically telling us the statement.
He's not wrong.
He's not, and that's the part that worries Vago.
Yeah, exactly. He's not entirely wrong. It's just, do you feel comforted that it's coming from Hale?
Technically correct is the best kind of correct.
Everyone likes to bully Hale when he's really not that bad.
No, he's not, actually.
No.
So what you doing?
We carry on.
I think we just need to keep on trucking, yeah.
I don't think we have a choice.
All right. As you begin to climb the switchback into the side of the cliff face. First of all, what is the marching order? The rocks and the path is rain-soaked, and the rivulets of water are flowing down the switchback. So, what's the game plan here?
So this is a related story, I promise. Earlier today, in real life, during lunchtime, I power washed part of our deck, and not thinking about it, decks when they're wet are very slippery, and so I almost fell off of our deck because I didn't remember. And so I imagine Mariana is going to be very similarly unrememberative. Just as a note.
Okay. So Mariana will roll with disadvantage later. Okay, got it. Luce and Vago.
Do I get advantage for remembering, likely?
No, I'm not going to make any of y'all. I'm not going to make any of y'all give you advantage or disadvantage just for whether you remember or not. It's a little too mean.
We're trying to remember what we did before. I think Mariana was in the back and Luce was in the front. I think the hope was that we had someone strong on both ends, plus Luce had the device for navigation. So it made more sense for Luce to be leading.
Yes,
Vago and Hale in the middle.
Yeah, I think it was the two of you were definitely in the middle. I know we did not want Hale front or back because he's squishier than the rest of us.
He's definitely a little squishier.
Just a tad.
Yeah, just
Unbuckle.
loose, holding the non-trademark infringing astrolabe in front of her to provide us direction.
Yeah. So you begin to climb?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Very,
is
very.
Angela a player saying this?
Please.
Okay. As you begin to climb, and just in general over the last, since you woke up, the storm gets a little stronger, and the lightning is a little closer. And at some point in your climb, probably about halfway, the lightning strikes the cliff face. And a rock slide begins, everybody. You have a split
Yay.
second. What are you doing as rocks begin to tumble up from above and over you?
Oh no.
So my first instinct in my brain was to duck. And so I'm assuming that's what Mariana does.
Okay.
Question: how high up are we as we've started to climb?
About halfway. Too high to jump and not get injured.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm
Yes.
like, her first instinct is jump, but then she realizes it's far too high without getting significantly hurt, especially wearing plate armor.
Yeah,
So-
you can easily get crushed.
Yep. So yeah, she's just gonna scrabble over with whatever lack of dexterity she has, and just aggressively strong woman her way over to another spot along the side.
Hale and Vago.
Hale is going to try and press himself against the wall just so that he can avoid anything that's immediately falling.
Vago, not being trained in the ways of survival and just going off the basic instinct of sees danger, get down, is also going to duck.
It's
All
not
right,
an
so-
earthquake. Sorry.
So all of these sound like dexterity type rolls. Please roll for me.
I'm sad.
If you fail, I'm going to say that these are going to be a moderately difficult pass to not get injured. If you fail, you are going to take some damage. Moderate difficulty is a 4, by the way.
Oh.
I got my 1 out of 1 success.
5.
Angela?
It's spending one of the associated attribute to get an additional die on that, correct?
Correct, yes.
I will spend a dex in order to get me the one additional. Otherwise, I can't actually reach this. If the marker is 4, then I can't reach this without
Correct, yeah.
spending.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot I should be rolling 2 dice. I actually got 2 successes.
Nice.
Okay, you do not pass Mariana. Neither does Vago.
Damn it, that's 2.
You only got half? Okay. So, Hale. As you are so dexterous and nimble, you're able to move out of the way and get yourself close back to the cliff. Basically, just out of the way enough to where you are not hit by any rocks. Luce, Mariana, and Vago. Y'all aren't so lucky. So I'm gonna roll this many and see how many successes I get, and we'll see how it goes.
Y'all
Oh,
are gonna
no.
make Hale watch his party die again for a second time.
Oh no!
And
Oh yeah,
I'm,
this is gonna be
Oh,
great.
no.
I'm going to say that getting battered by rocks, your armor does not protect you because these
Yeah.
are like hunky. I got 4 successes, so everybody is going to take 4 damage from starting from their strength pool, except for Hale. Hale's fine. No. Okay, I was gonna say if I got crits that equal anyone's OP, something else would have happened, but actually, no. Y'all wanted danger, so we're gonna get in danger. All right,
Danger.
I
everyone.
did ask for danger.
You did. Also, everyone who got hit, make some kind of strength check, please.
Oh,
Y'all are fine.
oh.
Well, it's strength. We have at least a little bit more of a chance.
True.
Hell, you see everyone get hit with rocks.
Ah.
That could have been you.
So it's 6 successes and 2 crits.
Oh my god.
Five successes, 2 of which are crits.
3 successes, 1 of which is a crit.
I'm sorry. So Mariana got 6. How many did you get, Luce?
5, 2 of them are 10s.
5. Okay. Luce and Mariana, you're fine. Vago gets knocked and begins to fall. Would you like to do anything in response?
Can Hale run towards the edge and extend a hand and
Yes,
yell
you
to
can
Vago?
try. You can attempt to catch him.
Well, do you trust me? Well, yeah.
What are-
I'm gonna
Aladdin.
cast Scroll of Shatterstone underneath Vago to boost him 1 meter up so I can grab him.
You can do that as long as Abhishek says it's okay.
You will take some damage.
It's better than falling at this point, so
Is
I'll
it?
take it.
We're halfway up a mountain. Okay.
It's a smash.
Cool.
It is the consequences of our actions.
So 1 success, so you take 1 damage.
Okay.
Take it from your. I think it's from your strength pool. What kind of damage is it?
Beneath a single creature, dealing success damage and throwing them dice meters in the air is what I have here.
Alright, it's probably just regular. Take it from your strength pool, Vago.
Okay.
Yeah, and then make a dex check to try and grab Vago. Since you you cast a spell to get them up a little bit, you'll have advantage on the check.
Okay.
So you'll have successes on 5 to 10 instead of 6 to 10.
Thank God.
I love the fact that someone in our chat is referencing like Hale as the Prince Aladdin costume when my head went to Aladdin as well, but it went to the giving you your reward, your eternal reward with Vago instead.
No.
That's
They
4
had
success-
Aladdin, Do You Trust Me, with Jasmine on the carpet.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
Vago
Sorry.
Jasmine.
How many successes did you get, Hale?
4 successes and a crit.
So yeah, that's 5 successes. You are able to grab Vago, who is now dangling.
Hale is on his belly and just like, I cannot maintain this for long. I have noodle arms.
Please help, 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 please help.
Yeah.
Reaching down, it's probably both of us are just like trying to pull you back up.
One on each side.
Between the two of you, you two are strong enough where you can help Hale get them yell up.
I want to make a very important note here, solely because of my own paranoia and mild knowledge of how physics work. I'm gonna make sure that if my glaive has any sort of metal inside of it, that it's pointing down and not really making any sort of arc upwards, because I will die. I will.
We
Straight
are
up
the
die.
tallest point in the mountain now.
I am also the tallest point in the mountain, so it's kind
That's
of hard.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Vago, you are pulled back up. A little worse for wear.
You want to see a magic trick? Push.
No!
Mariana will offer Vago a drink of water from her water skin, which is very stupid sounding because it's literally storming right now. But you know, you're hyperventilating. You need to calm down. Have a drink of water.
Vago will just very, very shakily take Mariana's water pouch and just begin almost guzzling it to try to calm themselves down. Actually, wait, I have a water bottle. I can do this, actually.
Let's no one do that because I can only do that once a day.
Should we tie ourselves to each other in case anyone falls?
So I
Well-
would like to point out, because I realized that as soon as I gave this trial towards you, this game does care about inventory space, and rope
Mhm.
is not part of the starting equipment. So the real question is, would anyone bought rope back at Perth or Vale Point?
I didn't.
I did not.
I will
I-
let people retroactively say they have bought something.
I think
If
Mariana would have thought of it.
If we're allowing retroactive, I do think Luce is one of the most experienced and would have thought about something like that. I do think it's fair to say that if we are allowing a retroactive.
Yes, I am going to allow retroactive just because y'all really haven't had an opportunity to really go shopping yet, so I will allow it. Just make sure it is part of your 10 pack spaces or appropriately placed, because you can't have more than one thing size dependent and more than one thing in one space size dependent. So yeah, I will say you have rope.
Well, now that that's all well and good done with, Hale begins to tie himself off. By the way, if that happens again, and if one of the two stronger members does go over, I shouldn't be in the front or last position. I'm not pulling anyone up.
I'm assuming-
Yeah.
Yeah, marching order. We'll tie ourselves to in that regard. I think I have a slight bit of strength over Luce. So I think
Only one. Yeah.
continuing to be in the back as an anchor, I think, is not a bad idea.
You okay, Vago?
My everything hurts. Also, ow, by the way, with that spell.
Sorry, I can't really control how much damage it does to you. It just happens.
I mean, I appreciate it, but I'm still going to complain about it. Because ow.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't be
We need
complaining if
to
you...
We should not be sitting here chatting. We need to hurry and get through this as quickly as possible.
Agreed.
Anyone, if you have anything shiny, hide it so the lightning doesn't get you.
Looks at the
Glaive
full...
being pointed down. I regret taking this glaive, partially.
Okay.
Forgot lightning existed.
So y'all have tied each other together on a rope. All right.
Yeah.
And you keep heading up.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna keep an eye on my silver chalice. Because now I'm worried about danger.
Okay. I forgot your silver chalice tarnishes in the presence of monsters, right?
Yeah.
All right. You are keeping an eye on it as you continue walking up. It doesn't really have a range, so I'm just gonna say when you're close enough. Okay. Eventually, there are no more rock slides. After this kind of like one lightning strike, the rain begins to lighten up a little bit until it's just a soft drizzle. You continue making your way up the cliff face along these switchbacks and eventually reach the top where it's flat. There are some trees and the water flows off the side of the mountain, making the waterfall. And a little farther back, you can see a couple more mountains, but the water stops the closer at the base of where those more like cliffs begin. So you're very close.
Not too much farther.
The ink has increased here as well. It's a good half and half in the river.
Stronger. Oh. I don't think this is good. There's so much.
Let us proceed with more caution than we have been doing. Right?
Stay close. Let's keep going. He's saying this and it's like busted lip from getting hit by the rocks and everything. Like, probably the armor's not looking as great as it was before.
Do you keep yourselves tied together as you go in a little bit? Or do you untie yourselves? Now that you're no longer climbing the cliff face.
Oh, now that we're not climbing the cliff face.
I don't think we need it.
Okay. I have to at least ask, because it would be funny if something happened and you're like, whoa, run away, and then like get pulled back together. Like
We all try to run in 4 different directions.
Okay. You begin to follow the river farther in towards the source. And you eventually are met with the source of the river, which is a large pile of rocks that are coming from like the underground water source. And you can see that it is spewing forth both ink and water alike. It's not the only thing that is here, though. The dark sky kind of obscures all colors, and it's kind of really hard to get any details until you get closer. But you do see a lot of scuffs on the ground, like large scuffs, dark scuffs. Several bodies. And Mariana, you notice that your chalice is tarnished.
Mariana will sort of put out her arm in like a, when you brake hard and you put your arm out so somebody doesn't die even though they have their seatbelt on. Just one of those actions, and it's like something's here. And we'll start to just very still, but eyes moving all around for signs of movement.
There is no movement except for the rain and the water and the trees swaying in the wind. Where do y'all go? What do you do with the scene in front of you?
We have to get to the source, but we have to be careful.
Right. Well, always a good litmus test. He'll bend down to pick a rock up. I suggest we might want to take cover somewhere.
I agree. Moving back, also had been pulling out the torches she had in her bag to also do a similar idea of like,
Just throw it in.
yeah, literally just. Yeah. But Hale's idea is better.
Yeah, we get to save some torches.
Right.
I don't want to lose it. I only have 5.
Where are you throwing the rock?
Right as hard as I can into the spring.
There's a sploosh, a splosh, a splash, but nothing happens.
Spring's safe. Ish.
I think Mariana will very cautiously approach the nearest body.
I'm trying to figure out where the Okay. So the closest body is it looks like he was in the process of running away from something. It's kind of it's like when you're running and then you suddenly trip. And as you begin to approach, it's a face you recognize. Mariana. You see an individual, you can actually kind of almost barely recognize them. Their skin is red and blistered. A look of fear on their face as they are laying on the ground. You recognize someone from home by the name of Elibra. She is someone who lived at the trench and very quickly, similarly to you, learned how to fight and joined Paragons. And as you begin to approach, all of you hear the sounds of rocks creaking and moving as that pile of rocks towards the source of the spring begin to rise. And everyone, please roll initiative. for me.
It's like, no, don't go near the bodies. Don't go near the bodies. The bodies are. It's a
You know,
trap.
I just realized I kind of described a Talus from Legend of Zelda, but it's fine.
Hala's just watching this happen. God damn it, it's High Lord Wolnir all over again.
No, heck, it is not Dwayne.
Can you remind me initiative?
The four of you are going to roll initiative, and with dex rolls, and your cumulative success tells you where in the initiative you go. I have already rolled initiative. When I
2
went-
successes.
Okay.
2 successes.
2,
4 successes.
Okay,
0.
so between the four of you, you are first. This large, which was still and looked like just a regular pile of rocks earlier, has now stood up and is making your way towards you. More water kind of pouring out between the cracks. And it's coming at you aggressively. But yeah, you get to go first.
I open up my sub menu, pull out my bow, attach a bomb to my bow.
Nope, you don't. You already got rid of the bow. You don't have bombs.
Oh, dang it!
If we had bombs, that would be really great just as by themselves against a rock creature. We don't.
It would
On
be
a
amazing.
mountain, though, it'd be horrendous.
That's a
It would-
terrible idea.
Look. I didn't say it would be good for us as a whole. I said it'd be good for the rock creature.
Fine.
Is there any place where Hale can duck behind to try and get a better vantage on this?
Yes, there
rock
are
creature.
more trees up here, so that you can get behind a tree.
I'm gonna do the rogue thing and use my action to hide.
All right, what are you doing? You're just not doing anything. Are you doing anything? You'd have to get up close to it and, to
Oh.
do anything.
Yeah, I wanted to basically hide myself behind a tree, wait for it to come closer, and then come out for a sneak attack.
Okay, so you're waiting. It's coming towards you. You won't be able to attack this turn if you're waiting for it.
No, it's made of rock. I have a short sword. I don't know what you want me to do in this situation.
I don't know what you should do. So in that case, Mariana, Luce, and Vago.
Mariana is going to pull out sword and shield.
Did you move your shield so it's a more accessible place in your pack?
I put it on the outside of my pack, like a Jeep Wrangler.
Okay, so it's not. It's like, so you need to. Is it number 1 in your slots right now?
It should be, yes.
Okay. In that case, you can your action can be pulling out your shield, and you are ready.
Got it.
So your OB goes up by 1.
Yay.
Oh, your OB goes up by 1. Hell yeah.
We love
Luce
here.
and Vaga.
I think Lewis just turns to everyone, even Hale, trying to like be prepared and beat back because she knows he's not gonna enjoy this particular engagement if he can't actually get some distance. So she just turns to all of them and says, "If need be, prepare for a good death, everybody." And just goes in and wants to try and stab it. If she can only move, that's perfectly fine. If she's
No, you can
needing it,
get up to it with your movement.
then
so
she's
you-
gonna get up to it and just try and find a spot in the rocks and just
Stab with your glaive, please.
glaive.
Which is
Oh
a
my
heavy
God,
weapon.
Yeah, it means I got strength +3, baby.
Oh yeah. So your strength plus 3 extra d10. How many successes?
Five successes.
Any crits?
Sadly, no.
All right. In that case, you are able to do a little bit of damage, but as you surmised, yes, it is harder to hit because you are hitting stone.
Yeah, I figured mechanically in my head. I'm like, that's OB4.
Yeah.
That's OB4.
It's OB3.
Oh, that's better than I thought it would be. I thought you were gonna be mean, give us OB5 or 4.
The highest OB for monsters right now is OB3. Unless I give them a shield, but this one doesn't have a shield. Vago.
Yeah.
So seeing Luce go off and see her strike this rock creature, Vago is immediately just going to pull out their newly acquired staff. Well, I guess no place than now, no better time than now to give this a field test. So they're going to go up and whack the rock with the stick.
Sure. Strength plus an extra 3d10 because I said your staff is a heavy weapon. This is like a thick stick with metal on the tips.
Yeah.
So 9d10 total.
Let's do this.
Whack it. Just whack it. This is how many d10 I have. You can't really... Oh, I dropped them.
Look it! Me too!
I'm fully afraid, everyone. I'm terrified. I'm scared.
I like using 4d10 creatures. It's fun.
4 successes and 1 crit.
Okay, so you do not do a crit for like a critical effect, because in order to get a critical effect, you need to roll the number of crits equal to its OB. So you just do 1 damage.
That's fair. But I hit something.
You do hit something. All right.
You.
Loose. This thing does not begin to hit you with its arm or a rock like you would have expected.
What does it hit you with?
Yeah, I was about to say, that makes me even more scared, because if it's not
Imagine
going
it's
to be...
good.
But it's not... Oh no, is it rock kick?
It's gonna give you the rock tin's elbow.
It's an ink snail.
So what happens is one of its cracks where water is coming out jets out at you, and it hits you right in the chest and in the face.
Pressure
my goddamn
washes you.
hydro pump.
And it's boiling.
Oh.
Oh, fuck. That's
Shit,
terrifying.
I had to roll up 2 extra d10s, sorry. Okay, so
You didn't have to, just you could not.
listen.
This is gonna hurt.
So this is fire damage.
I assumed as much.
So this is going to be taken off of your strength first, and then going into your vitality. I rolled a total of 7 successes minus 3, so you're getting 4 damage.
That's what I figured. Yeah, I assume the flavoring for this is the burn from the water just starts scorching through some of the armor, and she's getting we're at scalding.
Oh, it's scalding.
Yeah, because that eats through the last of my strength pool, and that's going into my health now.
Yeah. So back to the top of the round.
This is
Y'all
the worst
yeah.
blast choice ever.
It is the worst blast choice ever. That is correct. Yeah, so who wants to go?
I think Mariana will, seeing what just happened, run up, shields covering, vital parts.
Fair.
But take a nice hefty swing with her sword hand.
Go for it. Hail, it does not continue to move forward because it's engaging someone else. Just letting you know.
Yep.
That's 5 successes.
So total 5 successes, no crits.
Yep.
2 damage. It's cut. You are all just kind of whittling away at the moment.
Vago is going to go in and whack again, especially after seeing what it just did to Luce, and that's a little terrifying.
Just a smidge terrifying, yeah. Smack, smack, smack.
I need a dice cup for this game. Too many D10s.
I know. There's a lot of D10s. How many we got?
The look everyone gets as they're counting up the best scams.
Carry the one.
2 successes and both of them are crits.
Not enough, unfortunately.
Not enough.
Sad.
Oh
I'm
no.
sad.
Yeah, it doesn't. You just do no damage. It doesn't even parry at you. There is like a bit of like a moment where it kind of like waves in your direction, where it just kind of like waves you off as a non-threat.
Vago immediately
I
flashbacks
spotted
to
you,
Fail
like,
Point.
It did just slice what you, hail and loose.
I saw where the water was coming from, correct?
You saw the water where it came from at loose, but there are more than one cracks leaking water.
I'm just gonna figure that's where the weak point is and try and stab into one, just breaking behind from cover of the tree and running up to stab.
You may roll.
Hefty. 5 successes, 1 crit.
Yes. So, actually, you can roll with advantage with that.
Oh, cool.
Because I realized I didn't actually. Part of the golem stat blocks actually is to give it a secret weakness, and I liked what you did. So that's good. You can roll with advantage. So
That's
what was it
one-
with? Did you get any 5s in addition to the other successes?
Oh, okay. Yes. So that would be. What did I say? 5, 6 successes and then advantage.
So
5
it's not.
successes.
You don't roll with advantage. Advantage is between a 5 and a 10 instead of a 6 and a 10.
Oh, okay. Cool. So yeah, just 5.
Okay, so yeah, you once again do a little bit of whittling away with 2 damage. But your weapon goes in a little easier. But more water leaks out.
Oh, that's not good.
Loose?
I think just by a reflex she doesn't understand after being scalded, she knows that it's probably going to eat through her armor and metal in general with how hot it is. So she, like, as she's switching her hands over to like position the glaive better, she reaches down and like makes sure that the necklace she's holding is like tucked in more so it's not immediately in range to get ruined.
You're good.
And then tries to stab at it again, just tries to hack at a piece of its body.
Roll me your d10s. I hope I crit someone. Yeah. Yes.
We wanted some death.
We did. We did.
Okay, my first set of 5. Those are all successes with 1 crit.
Okay.
So that's a good start.
Okay.
I would like more successes, please.
Yeah.
Please,
Okay.
guys, be nice to me. Be nice to me.
Let's go.
Be nice to me. That's 2 more successes and another one with a crit. So not enough to reach a full crit status, but that is 7 successes total.
All right, so you've done a total of 11 damage to this thing, and you are continuing to chip away, and the more that you chip away, more
That'd
water
be
comes out.
4 in that case, because I only did 7 successes
No,
total.
11. You did 4, but a total 11 has been done to it. Between all of you.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
I don't give me that much damage,
No.
Mare. Please
Oh, no.
don't.
But now I'm about to roll again.
Goodbye, everybody.
And you who are right in front of it and have done damage to it, it's focusing your attention on you.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Hold on, I can't count.
Oh no.
The GM says I can't count. This other sign did very well or very bad.
So once again, this scalding water hits you straight in the chest, and you take it's 9 damage total, so minus 3 of your armor, so that's 6. And just it's kind of waving its arms around, like trying to hit folks, but it's not. You can't mechanically hit you that way. But flavor.
I was hoping it was waving its arms around like a muppet. It's like flailing.
So yeah, Luce, how you looking?
I got 5 HP, everybody.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Meaning,
Yeah.
if I take one more hit, I'm dead.
It's back to the top of the round.
It's a change.
Alright.
It's waving its arms around like one of those wind tunnel guys.
The wacky waving inflatable arm flailing 2-man.
Yeah. Thank you, Leona.
I imagine that Mariana at this point is getting scared, probably. I mean, she's died like a couple of times, but like this is probably the most like intense way of anybody dying that she's encountered so far. So I think the fear makes her angry, like protective, and so she'll try to put herself between Luce and the rock golem.
Yeah, it is a golem.
Yeah. the cautious saying of golem. But try to wedge herself so that and like hold the shield more Captain America style out this way to be protective and take another swing.
Give me all the D10 rolls.
So that's 4 successes, one of them is a crit.
4 successes, 1 is a crit.
Yes.
So that would be 1 damage. Nicking away at it. And then what would anyone else like to do?
I'm not going to like this. Hale is going to pull his short sword out of the golem, take a few steps back, and I'm going to try and crit fish by pumping all of my dexterity into this one hit.
All right, go for it. Roll for me.
Just for posterity, here we go, roll 20. Don't fuck me on this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes, 1 crit.
6 successes, 1 crit.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another 3 points of damage. It's a little more than half of its body has a lot of these fractures on it that are just kind of like pouring forth water. And it's clean water, actually. It's not like ink stained.
Huh.
I just blew up a lot of people's mind with that one sentence.
I wondered. Now I'm upsetty spaghetti.
I have
Vago
questions.
and Luce. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I have questions.
You should
about
have
this.
questions.
Oh man. Vago. Vago flashing back to their ineffectiveness in Veil Point, shall we say? They would really rather not have that happen again, because that was kind of an embarrassing time for them.
Yeah, just a little bit.
A little bit. But unfortunately, when all else fails, they don't really feel too great, especially because that rock slide. So they're probably not gonna like supercharge their weapon at the moment. So they're just gonna, when all else fails, whack it harder.
Yes, please roll me for how many dice?
I think it's 9, I think. So yeah.
So yeah, your base is 9, and you can add more if you like from your strength pool, if you have any left. I don't know if you have any left.
Technically yes, but I'm not gonna.
Okay, that's fair. You don't have to. Do we need to get you more T-Teds?
Yes. I only have 4.
I see you multi-rolling.
I have 4.
No. No. Someone send Abhishek a D10 set, please.
Yeah, you email the address.
So
my
you won't
dad-
believe this.
Yeah?
9 successes.
Holy
Any crits?
shit!
Fear of
No crits.
impotence wins.
No crits, but
Holy
9
shit.
successes.
Describe this massive hit you've done to it.
So, kind of usually, so most of the times Vago has been holding this staff with their left hand mainly because of the Ring of Strong, but this time they decide to double up on their grip a little bit almost and just baseball bat style this. So, kind of looking for a more exposed, quote unquote, or more fractured part of the golem. They're just going to rev up their swing and just baseball bat the ever living crap out of it.
Oh my god. One big rock goes flying, makes a splash into the river. Yeah, Luce, how would you like to follow that up?
And then just for a moment adopt the Lenny from The Simpsons meme and just be like, She will say 2 things out loud. Number 1, if I die, whatever comes back, either kill it quickly or get the hell away from me. So that's the first thing she says.
You all know about Printless. You know how it works if someone dies.
That's why she's still reminding everyone, get the fuck away from me when I die, because it will be bad. So 1. Number 2, she goes to strike the thing, but while saying, does anyone else out here with us who's enjoying this suffering? I would really like to know right now, because the whole clean water coming out in my head, she's gonna fight, but also in my head the player thinks it's probably a guardian for something. Which I hate killing guardians. Oh god, I'm gonna hit it with this glaive and then I'm gonna die.
Smackety smack.
Smackety smack. Don't come back. Especially Rockhold, don't come back.
Let me know what you get. It's gonna do either really good or really bad. Yeah? Yeah?
It's only 4 successes.
Only 4 successes?
Yeah.
That's all you needed. It had
Oh,
one hit
thank
point
God!
left.
Oh,
It
fuck
had
me!
one vitality left, so tell me how you
thank
narrowly...
God! Oh,
It's
God!
going to be how you narrowly escaped death.
Wow.
Oh, God! Give me a second to just be on the ground. Oh,
This close.
Oh.
It
I
would have
live.
died. You probably would have died if Abhishek did not roll 9 successes.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware. I'm aware.
Good job, Vago.
Thanks, Vago.
Redemption is so
Redemption.
sweet.
Vindication!
Vindication.
Yeah.
I think it's a moment where it's probably like about to retaliate for Vago, given that they just fucking baseball batted a chunk off of its body, and just like I imagine the hand, like it starts to look as though, I know mechanically it doesn't do that, but it starts to like move one of the hands to like crush down on Vago. She just like pushes Vago out of the way, and then just like spears through right the section, and just probably nowhere near strong enough to actually like wrangle it down to the ground, but it's just doing that thing where like when you have like an animal get stuck on the spear and just sort of like just holding it and just being as much of a tank of a woman as she can. But she's exhausted and takes it down.
And this pile of rocks, whatever is holding it together into movement and semi-sentience, disappears and it crumbles onto the ground. I think you'll actually, since you're just kind of like right under it, Vago and Mariana and Luce, make me one dex check, please, to not get crushed by rocks.
Again.
Hey, we already did this, Mare.
Right? Yeah.
And it went just the same as last time.
What'd you get, Mariana? Fuck! I dropped my chapstick.
You get
Wait,
for
Hale, were
hurting
you
this
hitting too?
mayor.
I can't remember. Were you hitting up in front of it too?
Hale
so
was
yeah.
from behind.
Yeah, so you roll as well. Sorry.
Okay.
So 2 from Ariana. Vago, how many? 0.
0.
Loose.
I also have to roll for me right next to it and killing it. I'm already hurting as it is.
There's
Shit.
rocks falling on you.
Mayor,
everywhere.
This is exactly. This is not how you implement rocks fall. Everybody dies.
Everyone dies.
I want instant
What?
death,
You're
not
right.
death after a win. I'm pumping everything of my
Okay,
decks
okay,
into
okay.
this. By the way,
Go for it.
I'm pumping at least 2, so I got 1 more because I'm not dying to
Okay,
this part.
Okay,
This
It's
is
like-
actually the lowest I've rolled with 3 successes.
okay.
It didn't do a thing. That's 0.
Oh
Not
no.
5. That's 0. This is gonna
Oh
hurt.
no.
Okay.
Oh no.
So thankfully, it's not a lot.
Oh.
Whoever did not get at least 2 takes 2 damage. It's not a lot because, one, y'all did a lot of damage to it and it was really cracking, so it's more so small stuff instead of like big pebbles, but like some of them do hit a little hard. And then it's quiet. With all of the only thing you can hear is your heavy breathing and the sound of water running over rocks.
Anybody else notice that it was launching clean water at us?
I think
Yeah.
Mariana has like picked up a piece of the rock golem and like chucked it like off the mountaintop.
You can do that.
in anger.
Before we get into this, let's take a quick break and then we'll come back and reinitiate a conversation. So everybody, please stretch, pet your pets, go take care of yourself, and we'll be back soon.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, everybody. I hope you all had a lovely break. We are back to continue with the aftermath of Luce almost dying and mysteries to be solved. Just to do a quick recap, the group went to the source of the water that has been, being filled with oily-ish ink and getting into the river, that goes past Perth and a couple other small settlements. They just fought a rock golem that spewed boiling water at people. Luce is barely hanging on. And as another recap for my players, the water it spewed was clean. It did not have ink in it. And there's also a couple dead bodies and scuff marks and stuff on the ground. The rain is lightening up significantly. It is more or less stopped, and though it is still cloudy.
I think Mariana has probably thrown down shield and sword as soon as and then thrown this rock off the cliff in anger. And then I feel like this is all just one swift movement. It's like drop weapon and shield, take this rock, throw it off the cliff, and then immediately go to Luce and go into I don't want to say
Mom
caretaker.
mode?
That's not quite the right word. It's more like combat medic, because that's like what she was taught was like you fight and then you take care of the people afterwards. So it's more like a very serious assessment than because it's not necessarily unkind, but it's just very
Efficient.
yes. And I can't imagine she's saying much except for what's necessary. Do you know your name? Do you know who I am? Do you know those sort of questions that you use to gauge someone's health in really dangerous situations?
I need you to promise me something.
What?
If I die, whatever it is, it comes back. Run. I need you to promise me that. Do not. If you can grab anything before it comes back, do it. We'll make do, but do not. You have to promise me it will run.
I don't
All
think
of
it
you.
can come back. I threw its head off the mountain.
Just for me to quickly butt in. Hale, you're probably the one who knows the actual straight up truth, since you were not brought up in a cult and you are not an amnesiac. But you know what Luce is referencing is that when a traveler dies, they turn into a printless within like 30 to 60 minutes. Their body comes back animated with the ink of the world and just wants more print marks and will hunt out travelers.
Would I know the
What was that?
causation of this? Would I know the causation of it, or it just happens randomly?
It happens to all travelers if they die outside of a safe haven. You don't really know why, you just know it happens to travelers. It's some people speculate that it's the price you pay for the long life, and you being able to come back. It's just the yin to the yang. But that's what happens in 30 to 60 minutes, and there is a way to keep that from happening. I don't know if you would know it. Actually, you probably would. The only way to keep that from happening is if you completely burn the body to ash. Vago, you probably don't know this unless you were asking questions. And Mariana, you have the twisted version of the truth for growing up in a cult that travelers upon death, the evil inhabits their body and become ruthless killing machines and so on and so forth. Which, yeah.
It's not immediate, Luce. There's a 30 to an hour between.
I don't care. I need you
Let
all
me
to promise
finish,
I
Luce.
think Mariana's confused because she thinks we're talking about the rock golem, which she threw what she called the head off the mountain.
When a traveler dies, there is a stint of time before they become printless. If you burn the body before then, they do not come back.
Wait a minute, but all of the travelers come back. I always came back.
It's something to do with dying outside of a safe haven sanctuary. I don't know if we are outside of the borders of that, but
You are outside of the borders of that.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry. Wait, you said come back? Like our body will come back up, and I'm sorry. Do what?
it will be hungry. It will want more prints.
Your body springs back and wants fingers.
Vago's gonna have a mini breakdown about this.
Luce is gonna eat my fingers.
Not if we burn the body first.
Wait! We gotta burn Luce.
If she were to die.
You're not gonna die, right? And Mariana's got tears in her eyes.
Grabs shoulder with knuckles as much strength as she can muster right on your shoulder to the point where it's probably almost starting to hurt. I'm not dead yet. But I need you to promise when I do, not if I do, when I do, burn it to ash.
Why do you eat my fingers or I burn you? I don't like this. Guys, I'm so sorry. I had to break character at that
So hard
I
to
couldn't
keep
believe-
character right now.
I couldn't believe that those are the words that just came out of my as I had a big tear rolling down my face.
So fun fact, hey, people who watch my internet, this is just me doing research for a TTRPG. In order, it takes 2 to 3 hours to burn a body to ash.
Oh god.
So, unless you have a way to magically do it, which there is in game, you're better off just running.
Okay, anyway. Rewind. Why are the only 2 options to burn you or for you to eat my fingers?
There's also running.
I don't run very fast.
Does not matter. Run Do not stay. Grab whatever gear you can. Run. Make sure I am not the reason you die.
Mariana just is sad now.
Well, time to do something everyone will hate.
What is that exactly? He's like setting the glaive to like push yourself up. She's not moving very well right now.
Hale is shrugging off his armor. Someone's got to investigate the spring, right?
I can look.
Don't forget about the dead body of someone you know.
Yeah.
I think she's thinking about that right now. I think she's thinking about her fingers
Well,
getting eaten
that's fair.
or killing her friend. What are those two options?
We can buddy system then. Can you swim?
If you take your armor off.
Can I though? I grew up in a trench.
I don't know. There were probably like underwater springs there around there. You need to get water from somewhere.
Yeah, I can swim.
Well, this is gonna suck. And Hale's just going to start disrobing, essentially as he's walking towards the pool. It's just like no neat pile, waiting at the edge, hands on hips.
There's your shirt, and then 3 feet away is your shoes, and
Sword.
Help. Moment. It's like using the glaive to like help yourself up. Walk over.
You need to rest.
I will. I'm sorry I am not doing the best of jobs keeping you safe.
I mean, directing all of the attacks towards yourself is essentially keeping me safe since none of the attacks are heading my way, so I think you're doing a bang-up job.
Fair. I'm going to go be in pain over there, if you don't mind.
Vago.
Huh? Oh. Vago was very clearly lost and thought about something not too good from the look of it.
When you're done having an existential crisis, can you tend to lose, please?
Yeah, sorry. I can do that.
Mariana will give some quick instructions, just some quick field medicine instructions like elevate, pressure, tie it up, those sort of things. But
Vago will do their best.
okay. So sorry, go ahead.
yeah, then Mariana will get down to. I'm sure she'll keep she's sort of modest, so she'll keep she probably is wearing like she's got leather tunic, long shirt, undershirt, and then she'll probably just roll up her pants to her knees and take off boots and things like that.
Yeah. So Hale and Mariana are going to check out the spring. Luce is resting and Vago's tending to Luce. Vago and Luce, are you doing anything else?
Aside from having an existential crisis, no.
All right, so let's start with Hale and Mariana. Hale and Mariana, the spring is still flowing. The monster did make up a lot of the rocks, but there are a lot more rocks that are part of the mouth of the spring, towards the north. And there is water and ink leaking from both that, but also the quantity that's coming from the rocks does not match the quantity in the water. So since you have gotten down to your skivvies, it sounds like you're taking a look.
Yeah. So are they rocks that are towards the mouth? Are they piled like a pile of rocks, or are they kind of just laying flat?
They're more or less laying flat. Whatever you saw earlier, which was more like piles, was the monster.
Got it. I think Mariana Mariana will probably just get to work trying to pull up bigger pieces of rocks that she can to see, like, what is underneath.
And what about you, Hale?
Yeah, Hale will assist. Essentially, like, just small talk with Mariana. Keep her attention away from, like, Luce.
So what you see as you begin to make your way towards this mouth of the spring in the rocks, and you begin to lift rocks up and like move them and just get like a better look at everything, you notice a couple things. The first one is that before you even begin to like walk into like the water, which is a little shallower in this area, so you're not really like up to your chest or anything, maybe like up to your ankles in this water ink mixture, you see runes on the ground, which at this point have been like scuffed and moved around for not from your fight. It seems something else. But runes, some scuff marks, some carvings, the origin or the reason you don't know. And when you go to look around at the rocks, you do see more runes carved into rocks, individual rocks in this area. When you begin moving, you do get like there's just more rocks underneath it. There's just a lot of rocks. And eventually you do get you can't really tell how far it goes or if there is a solid rock face. But there is more ink down there with the water and the ink, and it's definitely the source.
Do these runes look familiar? Like maybe a sort of what we do with our ink in a sort of like warding situation?
They don't look familiar to you. Did you or Marianne have any more questions about this before I hop over to Luce and Vago?
I think Mariana will have the rocks that don't have runes on them. Will have piled them in a way as sort of a barrier from like them, like to Luce and Vago, just sort of like a in case anything comes this way. I mean, it's not going to be like a fence, but like it's going to block that way. And we'll also sort of take a moment and splash some like clean water on the ruins just to get like in case they're dirty or have been just to clear them away.
Yeah, easy enough.
I'll take a moment and like hold one in my hand and just really think on, have I seen these before?
You have not. Not you personally.
That's where you'll leave me, Rocket.
Luce and Vago. Vago, when you and everybody split ways, Luce goes over there to rest over there, and then while Mariana and Hale go over there to look and investigate, you do need to head over to Luce. And when you begin walking over to Luce, you notice a couple things. First things first is you do see that woman that Mariana went to go investigate earlier. She, now that the fighting is over, y'all can get a better look, but she is dressed in what used to be a white and black and silver lined some kind of regalia with a symbol on her shield of like the circle and like an upside down teardrop that kind of looks like a flower. This is what Hale mentioned at dinner the other night. Her skin is completely scalded, kind of matching what happened to Luce. So 2 and 2 together, like she probably got hit with the scalding water from the monster golem. You also see 2 other bodies. 2 bodies whose faces who are also just slightly scalded. One of them's arm is crushed by assumedly rocks. They look extremely familiar. Like you recognize them. And they are laying down near some scuffed out rocks with runes, which you also recognize.
Vago is going to sort of rub their eyes to make sure they're seeing this correctly. Just right. They're going to just go closer to just get a much better look at the bodies in front of them. Just the bodies and the runes, I guess. Just to kind of get a closer look at the whole situation.
When you get a closer look at the bodies, what happens is similar to what happened in Vale Point when you saw that other individual of the Magnus of Cycles. Memories which, wherever they came from, whatever life you had before this, before you couldn't remember anything, just flash and spike through your mind. You see them hovering over you. You see them talking in a corner and conversing, their words muddled, and you feel an intense pain in your fingertips.
Vago is just gonna almost scream in pain as they're kind of just remembering this and just I would scream, but I can't because of noise complaints. But imagine that Vago is screaming almost very loudly at the sort of just remembrance of all this unimaginable pain on their fingerprints. Like sort of after kind of managing to get through, they're just gonna look down at their fingers and back at the bodies again. Just, who are you? Who are you? Why? What do you mean?
To the rest of you, Vago's having another existential crisis.
Hey, buddy.
No. But
This is already going over. Are you okay?
No.
Then sit
No.
down.
They're gonna do just that. But not before taking a kind of final look at the runes that were kind of near the bodies. Is there anything that is triggered by the runes specifically, or like the bodies?
You've seen them before, carved in ink on walls and in chambers from your memories in those flashbacks.
What does this mean?
Vago, look at me.
I'm gonna slowly kind of lose his eyes.
Do not force that which was lost to come back if you are not ready for it.
I don't have a choice. I saw them. I saw that, and it's like it just appeared flooded in my.
Visibly in pain, like grasp both of your shoulders. Focus. Here. Look at me now. Focus on my voice.
Okay.
Breathe. First thing that happens when panic takes hold is you stop breathing well. Breathe. Don't force what is lost. Come back when you are not ready for it. If this is going to be a regular occurrence, then don't dwell on it and keep giving yourself pain. Let it happen, release, and come back when you are ready.
Vaga's sort of gonna take a moment, try to calm their breathing. Their fingers are still sort of twitching as if sort of still sort of recoiling from the pain that they were kind of experiencing earlier, but noticeably less so than when the memories first hit. So it definitely takes a good 2-3 minutes, but slowly the finger twitching stops. The breathing gets less ragged, a little less hyperventilating. They slowly open their eyes to focus back on Luz.
Like also struggling to breathe a little bit, and like having to take a very I'm imagining with all the burns and just all the bruisings and everything, she's not quite at like collapsed lung or anything that terrible, but it's not fun for her to breathe right now. Are you with us? Are you here?
Yeah, they're gonna nod slowly, wiping away the almost like kind of a little, not at this point a little bit faded, but there once was a stream of tears sort of running down their eyes a little bit, sort of wiping that away. It just, I'm here.
Okay. Good. And I imagine like she has not noticed the gauntlets like pressing into like her palm like significantly to a point of like almost causing more pain for herself. Good. Good. You need to be here. You still have a purpose to find out. My purpose will simply be to die for all of you. That's all it needs to be.
That's not true. Stop saying that. That's not true.
It is what I am here for.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. It's not. You may.
Stop telling me what my purpose is. No past, no other person, no force will tell me what I want to do. And no past will dictate what you are going to be or what pain you will go through. Control your emotions.
Not again, and sort of try to keep themselves calmer this time. Before just kind of just slouching over from exhaustion. Just
I believe I can safely say you look as bad as I feel. She just kind of slumps down and kind of collapses, like face down to where she's at.
After a few moments, Vaga's gonna compose themselves and just look to Hale and Mariana. So what did you find in the spring?
Hale
Well,
wrote something on the rocks. I don't
Some
know
sort
who they is, but they did it.
looks like some sort of runes. I can't make heads or tail of it.
Wait, can you draw it? Like, do you remember this shape?
Hale
They're
will
like
pick-
individual rocks. Like I think Mariana said she was making like a small pile of the
Yeah, I was
runes.
holding one in my hands. So I probably, like, hearing all this happening, probably went over I don't think she would have like thought to drop the rock, so she probably still has the one in her hands.
Yeah.
So she'll kind of just this.
Vaga's gonna take a look at the rock, kind of look at it.
It's the same vein as the other ones that you saw in your flashback of memories. Just a continuation.
Their fingers are gonna clench again for a little bit but they're trying not to let themselves kind of get drowned in the memories again. I don't know how. I don't know why. But for some reason, they're gonna point to both the rune on the rock that Mariana gave them, and then point to the rune near the bodies that they found. But I recognize these runes. I've seen them before somehow.
A moment, Mariana will remember that. Oh yeah, I know that dead person over there, and hurry back over that way.
Yes, she is more or less where you left them. Slightly moved in the shaking of the walking of the golem, but she's still dead. A part of her hair has been scalded off, and her face is red and blistering. Her clothes are dirty from being in the rain and on the ground in the mud. So this what used to be a very nice white and black and silver is now a deep muddy gray and brown. Her sword, which is not blessed with ink like the rest of your weapons and is magical, is several feet away. The shield is still strapped to her arm.
I imagine that. I imagine that this probably is not the first dead person from the trench that Mariana has seen before. And we'll start to almost instinctively putting Ellie, who she would affectionately call Ellie, sort of in like funeral posing. I guess if that's like probably the best way to word it, is like to like put her body in a more
Rights.
like a more respectful position. Bring her, like, lay her sword, like, I imagine it's probably like she takes her arm and puts her shield over like her as like protection, and like will lay her like other arm to her side and the sword next to her, and then will like go to like reach in her pocket or something like that for something she would normally have on her, and then just sort of like be like, oh yeah, I don't have any of my things, like those things anymore.
1 second. Sorry. Just if you could lessen up on your description soon, please.
And just do as do as much as she can with what she has, and just sort of stand there for a moment and just not think, and just kind of stay there.
The four of you, as the rain lightens up, the rain has lightened up. There is a slight little peak of sun, and you all have a high vantage point. and you get a really, really good look of the plains to the east and the forest to the west. And the forest to the west, you actually see pillars of smoke, like smokestacks. I'm actually going to put a quick image in chat of where they are, where roughly you can see them. So one is actually fairly close. The other one is close, like on the same like x-axis, but a little farther west. And then one is very far south. So either people are making camps, it's a small settlement. Hale, you would know that the one to the far south is definitely a settlement. And then the one of the top ones is another settlement, but there's an extra one. One of those is not a settlement.
Huh. That wasn't there the last time. Sorry, why don't we all take a moment and regroup ourselves? I'll continue working on motions to the body pile if you wish to take a break, Mariana.
Huh?
You should have a seat by Luce and take some rest.
And she will.
It goes for you too, Vago.
Yeah, all right.
And Hale will respectfully, just to make sure all the body are neat, and then just grift whatever gear he can off of them. They're not using it.
So I will say, let me roll a couple dice for that. Where I took out D100s. Where did I put them? Okay, whatever.
D10s.
I know, but
It's
you
your
could roll a
punishment for
zero.
hurting us so much, Mary.
Oh man.
Okay, so on the two folks, when you rummage the ones that are not one that's not in white that Mariana is tending to, have the symbol of the Magnus Cycles on them. They have between them 114 drops of ink. And then some muddy notes. Muddy, obscure notes and like notebooks. And another question I had for y'all, because this is the first time it really has come up, is do y'all want to harvest the ink from the golem? Because this is a monster. You can harvest ink from monsters. In our chat, I am going to put a table which gives you how the quantity of ink you can harvest depending on the vit dice, and it's in order to harvest it takes 1 day per hit die.
Let me pose a question to the group then. Would we want to make base camp here for the time being, see if we can't clean up the spring anymore, and at the same time try and get some ink out of the golem?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Plus, we might need the extra time to help rest and recuperate after this fight.
So this monster was a 4d10 vit dice creature. It technically says you can you have to do 4 days, 1 day per every d10 die. If it's a higher level creature, I will always give you the option to do less days up to its max amount of vit dice. So if you want to try and get 1d10,000 ink, you would have to spend 4 days here. However, if you want to spend 3 days, that would drop to 1d1000. 2 days would be 1d100, and then 1d10 would be 1d10 drops.
I'm sorry, Murray. You said a big number, and my brain went.
I did.
That's a big number.
That's you know what you call that? That's the gotcha game face. That's the I pulled a 5-star. Everything is coming up hail.
So what would y'all like to do?
The main issue being we don't have too much food to be up here for too long.
Yeah, you're right.
Plenty of water. Inky, but water.
Don't really know if that's safe for us to drink.
Only one way to find out, huh? I'm not doing it.
Let's nod and say we
But I
did.
will say, just from a glance, you would know that this water is not fit for like consumption, like not consumption, but like what you would normally use ink for.
Well, I tried.
Our goal needs to be to make Mare make that face at least once per session.
Okay, game plan. You could just move. You could just move on. You could
But,
stay here and rest and harvest some ink and recover. Other options that I have not mentioned.
I think Mariana would know to harvest ink.
Would or wouldn't?
Wouldn't. I don't think
you wouldn't.
Same with Vago.
No.
Not a clue.
I guess now would be as good as time as any as a learning experience, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
If anything, a day at the most just to recuperate and maybe get a little bit of ink.
So, mechanically, I think if I may say what your best options are, if that's okay.
Mhm.
You can always do one day. That will get you one roll on each of your dice pools. And you'll be able to do like 1d10 worth of ink harvested. Alternatively, in terms of resting, you can do a long rest, which is 3 nights, where you get your strength, will, and dex restored to max, and you may recover 1d10 vitality. And then you can do like 3d10 of ink worth, 1d1000's worth of ink harvested.
That's such a big jump.
It is a big jump. Or you can do 2 days and just do a short rest twice.
I am not the one missing hit points, so I'll leave it up to y'all.
I appreciate that, but I honestly think like that it comes down to Hale to make the decision. Actually, that's me as a player saying that I think Hale should make the decision solely because if Mariana doesn't really know the process, if Vago doesn't know the process, and Luce definitely knows the process, but Luce is fucked up and just had to calm down and existentially crisising Vago, so she's kind of wiped. I don't think she's in any state of mind to really have good input. So I think I'd say just narratively, Hale is probably in the best position to make a call.
Is Hale the leader?
We've made
In
him
this
the leader.
situation.
Oh no.
All right, everyone, grab a rock. We're jumping off. No, not really. So he'll walk over to his short sword and pull it out. I'm gonna learn you how to harvest some ink.
I'll learn today.
Gonna learn today. Yeah. Flip it, ice pick style. Luce, could you maybe start a fire?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You might want to put your boxed lunch over there, Vago, for it to dry up.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, yep.
I'm just imagining all the different potential methods for the fire starting. It's just like trying to get like flint, and every time she's like trying to strike it, you just see her like grimace every single time.
Just 5 torches together in a little stack, and then you just hit the...
It's what we can do. It's what we have. What we got.
I will split my torches with you.
Okay.
But we'll
There are trees you can get wood from. Try and get branches. Like,
Oh yeah, there are trees up here. huh?
yeah, you don't have to use your torches. Sorry, I was also typing something up. Well, how many days are you taking?
We will spend the 3 so that we can, 1, harvest ink, but also get loose back to full.
Close to full.
Close enough. And during the entire process, Hale will show Vago and Mariana how to essentially pull the ink from creatures and bottle them.
Okay. So let me roll your the check, which is I'm gonna just for there is one other thing I wanted to end up getting to, so I'm not gonna spend too long on this. But overall, if everyone spends 3 nights worth of inks, which is going to be minus 15 drops of ink from everyone's stores, that will cover your protections for the next 3 nights. So if you're spending 3 days, that is going to be 1d1000 drops of ink harvested, which is going to be 279. So 279, how much did I say earlier?
15 each for
No,
3 days?
no, you got off the bodies.
Oh,
114?
114 drops of ink from
Yes.
the
So-
Magnus of Cycles.
Total, out of all of those, you got 393. To keep it simple, let's round it up to 400. And everyone can
100
get an
each.
additional 100. But if you want to just add 85 to account for the
Mm-hmm.
the 15, you can add an additional 85 drops of ink to your inventory.
Yay.
Everyone can put their stats back up to full with the exception of vitality. Vitality, you will roll 1d10 and add that. What'd you roll?
I rolled 2.
Oh no.
Oh dear God.
As a quick overview, how do you spend your 3 days when you're not harvesting ink?
Say, I probably would, Mariana would, knowing that these runes are significant, basically go like rune hunting in the spring and pull out anything that I imagine it's like 85% runes and like 15% rocks that look like they have runes on them that maybe don't exactly, but they have like cool scratches on them. And we'll like just like neatly like pile up ones. Do they all look the same or are they different runes?
They're different.
Okay,
Like
so
there's
we'll-
some similarities sometimes, but like more often than they're not, they're different. It's more like sequences, like
yeah, so she'll put them in like groupings. So like all of the A's go here, and all of the ones that look like B's go. Like we'll try to do it that way.
Hale will eventually, like, occasionally pop down the mountain when it's not like really bad weather out to go hunting in the forest.
this is familiar terrain to you, so I'm not gonna make you do. I'm not gonna make you roll for this. You know the area. I'm sure you know how to set up a snare or two.
I was gonna go pheasant hunting with my no bow.
So we're like a mountaintop too. Is there any like vegetation? I know there's trees and stuff, but is there any like
There's some bushes.
forageables? Yeah, I think when not splashing around looking for pretty rocks, Mariana will try to help by doing that.
It's not forest season, but you are able to find some like edible roots.
Hmm. Make mashed root.
Mashed root.
Tubers.
Boil them.
Imagine it's like stew,
mash
you
'em.
know? You shoot down
Put
a
them in stew.
pigeon and then some roots and then, you know, make sure you get clean water and baby, you got a stew going.
I will also mention that the smoke, like from a campfire or fires in general, are still seen throughout the course of the 3 days.
Oh, by the by, I did find this on one of the Magus of Cycle people, and he'll produce the muddied notebook. Maybe a hint as to why they were up here in the first place.
Vago's gonna tentatively reach for the notebook, kind of hesitating a little bit before finally reaching out and grabbing it to take a look at it.
There is a claw-like grip on the other end. You sure?
Even if I don't do any searching for answers, that's twice now in what, 3-4 days that something like this has happened. So even if I don't search, I have a feeling the answers will still come to me. Or something like this. If things like this are going to keep happening, I might as well do my best to at least know everything I can about them. Or just, it's going to suck, I know, but every piece of information is going to get me closer to just
Right, and
the truth.
what do you want us to do if you start chanting in a foreign tongue?
I mean, what Luce did was pretty helpful, or you could just, Luce was pretty helpful at one time, but if I really am going off the deep end, you can hit me, not too hard, or I swear to God I will hit you back.
2 hands on either shoulder, releasing the book. You said it, not me. And he'll walk away.
I just made the worst mistake of my life. That was possibly the worst decision of my life, but oh well. Vago's gonna flip through the book, see if there's any legible parts that aren't completely muddied out.
Romeo will check, please.
Okay.
Let me know how many dice you're rolling.
2.
Okay. Not spending any from your pool?
Sounded like a threat.
I have to at least ask. It's something you have to
Yeah.
decide. Actually don't remember if you have to decide before or after rolling, but I gotta ask.
Seems more fair to decide beforehand.
You know what? I will actually add. I'll add 1.
Okay, so total 3.
Three successes, 1 crit.
Yeah,
Jeez.
so you can't get an exact, like, you can't read them completely. First of all, they some places they are completely illegible, just because of water and mud damage. It must have gotten hit by that golem at some point. If anything, the rain that was happening before you got here. So there are just some pieces you cannot read. What you can see and what you can view are that a lot of what you are seeing matches some of the memories, and you are able to get a little bit of information in the fact that whatever these notes are, it has something to do with moving ink. But that's about it, without like more specialized knowledge and that you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Clarifying question. As in semi-alive ink that is moving, or the act of transporting ink?
You don't know.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yes,
I'm scared
yes.
already.
A or B, yes. Vago's gonna let out an exasperated sigh and just close the book before handing it back to Hale. Well, not much I could find. There was a part about moving ink, but I don't really know what that means, honestly.
All right. It's something at the very least.
Yeah.
You also still don't know why the Magnus' cycle is up here. Or why, Ellie was here.
Were they here together?
You don't know.
Mm.
But, the four of you do know that could probably tell that Mariana knew this person. And Hale, you would also recognize the symbol that Malia told you about on the shield.
Whew. He'll spin the shield to face the group. By the by, this is a better representation of what Amalia was talking about.
I think
That's-
Mariana is in horror that you just did that. After all the care she just took to do that.
Did I do something wrong?
Please put it back.
Slowly, gingerly puts it back where he found it.
You.
No problem. I apologize.
Okay, That's Ellie.
You knew them.
She was very kind.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I don't know why she was up here. We so far north. Doesn't make any sense. I don't know why she was here.
I mean, I'm sure we'll find the answer to that someday. But Vago kind of gives like an understanding nod before looking back towards the Magnus of Cycles members. Yeah. Know that feeling all too well.
Do you think they came for the same reason he did? What if this goes further than just the ink in the river?
What do you mean further south?
Maybe.
Vago,
Honestly, go ahead.
how do you know these? And she'll point to the little piles of runes that she's made.
When I was having my moment, let's call it, I saw those. In the memories I was seeing, they weren't exactly like that, but they looked really, really similar. They were like drawn everywhere, but that's really all. I couldn't really see anymore.
So it's probably pretty safe to say that they're bad.
Probably.
What should we do with them? I can put them with the golem's head, which was chucked off the mountain. So, in case anybody. Mariana's volunteering to chuck them off the mountain. That's what we. Is essentially what she just said.
What the fuck, Mariana?
That's 2 Mare shocked faces in 1 session, folks. We're ahead of schedule.
We
Listen,
are.
it's kind of like fair because I made some of y'all cry in the first 2 sessions. So like, yeah. You give and you take.
Yeah.
Then what else are we supposed to do with them?
I mean, we could destroy them. I mean,
Sell them, enchant them, use them for enchanting.
But if they're bad, we can't use them.
I'm sorry, I
Maria's
lost the
very
plot
serious
here.
about that. It's like if they're bad, we can't use them. They have to go away.
I think we should destroy them.
They're not travelers. They're not gonna come back.
No, the rocks.
Oh,
rock.
the rocks.
The
Okay,
rock.
that was the plot I lost.
The-
Okay.
We're deciding to
Roots or
rocks.
the monster rocks.
The rune rocks.
That's a lot of rocks.
Yeah,
You won't be
I was
able
also
to-
I was along board for this, but I didn't want to. I was thinking about that point. I was like, y'all know that like Mare has made specific references. There's a lot of them here, so
Yeah,
take the
there's
3
a
days
lot.
to do it.
There's no way you can get rid of or destroy all these rocks in like any significant amount of time. And whatever, I'll also tell you that in the 3 days that you've been here and looking at runes, whatever has been done here is no longer active. And what it used to be was it surrounded the entire like bulk of the spring, but something happened and they're no longer like in a formation where they would be doing magic. So they're inert.
Ew.
Okay.
Yes. So whatever has happened is no longer happening.
Has
Is
the
that-
water cleaned
No,
up?
no.
No, okay.
The water has not cleaned up.
Maybe we should head down to one of these settlements to the south and see if they know anything.
We can do that. Yeah.
Luce, you feel up for moving?
Definitely mild feral look on her face as she's been kind of like having to recover and rest. And I will say, just as a small note, I think probably the whole right side of her face is now permanently a lot redder. Like she has burn marks on her body now. Well, it's better than sitting around here.
Fair. All right. Let's call it an hour before we move out. Make your preparations.
So, quick question. Just point of clarification, not to hold us up too much longer, Mare.
Yes.
Does it seem like the ink pollution has stopped as of yet? Being here?
It hasn't stopped, but it is at least over the last 3 days it hasn't intensified.
So we still need to actually solve the problem
Yes.
with this here.
But whatever's going on, you don't have the knowledge, unfortunately.
To really do much about it
Correct.
practically.
Yes.
But now we know we need to get the knowledge, so that's the development
Yes.
with coming here.
Yes. You have
Okay.
clues, yes.
Yes, okay.
Just gotta figure out what to do with them now.
Correct.
Here we go.
Maybe that scholar lady might know
If we can find her.
if we could find her. All right.
So 1 hour passes and you eventually begin to head your way out back down the switchback. The Hardy, who has been released from the ring confines of his ring, is soaring down the side of the cliff. The weather's actually gotten much nicer. The sun is shining. It's warm. And you eventually make it to the base of the mountain. There is a bridge. It's not on the map, but there is a nearby bridge up closer up north. So you can cross without having to get to ford the
Like
river.
all the way down.
Yeah, I didn't put them on your copy of the map, but there are 2 bridges, one closer up north and one closer to the south. When you were coming down the cliff, you do, as always, see the 3 smokestacks. The closest one is on the top right corner, closest to the mountains and the river.
Would I know the closest one would be a settlement? Just as
No,
a
it's
refresher.
not a settlement.
Ooh,
The settlement is the one on the top left.
it's the farther one.
It's the farther one.
So closer to us is something else that
Correct.
we don't know what it is.
Correct.
But there's smoke has continued. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, we gotta
Which
go
is
that.
usually, yeah.
If we're gonna go that way anyway, I mean, we're gonna have to pass through them. There's no point in trying to circumnavigate, is there?
No.
If push comes to shove, I could always check it out. Do a little bit of skullduggery.
You could, absolutely. So what's the plan?
Press on.
Hope they don't have any art rocks.
Okay. Do you take any of the rocks with you? With the runes?
Were
Don't
there
think
any
Hale
by
would them.
Ellie?
Not really. They're kind of just everywhere.
No, I don't think Mariana would have then.
Anyone else? Hail loose Vaga?
I've got noodle arms. I'm not carrying jack. Oh, they're small?
They're
not
small.
like they're not hunky boulders. Like you can like put one.
I feel like Vago would have taken one.
Okay.
If Vago takes one, Hale will not take one.
Souvenirs.
I think though Mariana would have tried to. Now we know how this goes. Would have tried to sketch them down
That's fair.
in her notebook just to.
If anything, you do I don't remember what it's called, but you take like coal or graphite, a rubbing. Yeah, you can do a rubbing.
I bet she would have done that knowing that. Self-awareness, you know, like knowing that that's going to be much more accurate to show someone else if she needs to.
So you're heading you're across the river. Are you going to that first, which is whatever it is, not a settlement?
Yeah.
How are you approaching?
Hale has suggested stealthily.
So you're going to leave the group and come back.
Yeah.
Okay. Please roll me a dexterity. Oh, go ahead.
So, question though, do you feel like you need someone close by in case there's a problem?
If it's one thing Hale is good at, it's running away.
Okay. I just wanna check if you feel like you need a strong person to come with you. Just in case.
Listen, at the first sign of trouble, you will hear me screaming, "Help!" followed by a giant dust cloud in the sky.
What if you
And
say
probably
something
some
different?
very comical bongos.
What if you say something different though?
What would I possibly say in a position where I'm in danger?
Ow.
Touché. Damn, that's a good comeback, actually. Damn. Why didn't I think of that?
Just
I'll be fine.
be safe.
Please.
Safe is my middle name.
Hale, would you like to roll me a stealth, please, of dexterity?
Ah, I would like to. Honestly, I would. I can't hold all these d10s. 1, 2, 3.
What's it like rolling so many d10s for Dex?
I don't know. What's
Must
it like
be
rolling all
nice.
those d10s for strength?
Oh,
look,
man.
look, I'm not the one being asked the questions here.
4 successes with 2 crits.
Yeah, so you're able to actually get really close without being seen. This is a camp of some sort. It's semi-permanent. It's not just like regular tents that you would take while camping, like for a day or two. These are like semi-solid, like solid wood tents, like the equivalent. They're not for this purpose, but like the equivalent of like if there's an army and they're setting up like the. Do you kind of get what I'm trying to say? Like the large
Like the big
war
canvas
tents. Yeah,
war
there. It's like
tents.
there's like a couple like larger like quote unquote war tents, but you can tell these folks are not fighters. Like there's a couple people around for fighters. A couple of which you can tell are travelers just by how you see like their dark fingerprints and some obviously magic weapons, but they just seem to be like hired muscle. A lot of these people are talking amongst themselves. The best way to put them is they look like fucking nerds.
My God, it's a red fair.
It's
It's a Ren fair. Angela's
dead.
gone.
But yeah, they you don't recognize them, but they are they seem to be doing something in the area, like some personal project.
Is there any identifying insignia on the nerds?
You know how I was asking earlier, oh, I need a name for some people. Nah, they don't need a name. They're too busy to do work to name themselves. This is that group.
Oh
Go,
no!
go, go.
Oh no!
Well, and he will let go of the tree branch he was hanging off of and just land like cat and head back towards the group. By the by, just appearing out of a bush next to someone. It looks like there's a hold on, shimmies out. It looks like there's a semi-permanent camp up ahead. Lots of scholarly types. I believe the kids called them fucking nerds.
So they don't look dangerous.
Well, they do have some travelers with them, and they look dangerous. I think they're the
people.
jocks.
Smart people
Oh.
can be really dangerous.
That's true, yeah.
But they're Did they look nice?
I did not quite take in their disposition. They looked really busy, and I didn't want to interrupt. Science, prophecy.
But if he might be distracted, that's probably means it's easy to pass by them.
True. Well, if we meet any regular travelers on the road, and we can ask them any questions about the camp up ahead. But if you feel like we need to skirt the premises, then by all means. I don't think we have anything that. Well, Vago, you have the rock, correct? Maybe one of them knows.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Should we know if they were nice or not?
Yeah.
Regrettably, Mariana, there will be quite a lot of people we are going to meet while traveling who are not very nice.
Sometimes they're closer than you think.
Liz doesn't know how to process that one. She thinks she's upset you somehow, so she takes that as like a slight against her.
Mariana is thinking of home at this point with Ellie, with Ellie on her mind and things like that. It's just like, yeah, sometimes like kind of just like sometimes the meanest people are the closest to you. Like,
Luce does not take it that way. Luce is kind of a literal-minded person, so she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry if I've upset you." I will do my.
No.
She just keeps walking ahead. She doesn't let me finish. She just keeps walking. She's like, "I'm sorry. I will remove my terrible presence from you."
Mariana's just like sad at the end of the marching order now. Like,
Just right next to Vago. What is happening? How did we disintegrate so fast?
I mean, like Luce almost died. I had a moment.
Two hands on either side of Vago's face. It was a rhetorical question. I'm about to have an existential crisis. And he'll walk off.
The real question is, are you going into camp or are you avoiding camp? What are you doing?
I vote for going into it.
Vago would
And-
agree with Luce.
I think that Mariana is cautious of groups of people together doing things for one cause, if you know what I'm saying. So, she will agree with the group, whatever the group wants to do, but be very suspicious of the people.
Okay.
Hale also votes to go in.
Okay. As begin to approach, there are a couple travelers. There's maybe like at most half a dozen, like 6 of them. The couple who are on duty, I'm assuming you're not being stealthy at this point.
Nope.
No.
A pair that are on like duty, just like keeping an eye out, grab their respective weapons as you approach. Who goes there?
Hale.
Hail and well met.
No, that's my name. I'm not joking.
I had to take it. I had to take it where it was
I
coming
know.
from.
I thank you for taking that.
I was like, God, I'm surprised it took us this long to get to this joke.
I know, yeah?
State your business. Hale and company.
We were just up the mountain and saw a couple of things that we had some questions on. I take it that some people in your camp are the scholarly type and wanted to pick their brains.
The two of them look at each other. The one who wasn't talking nods at the other one, who has just like short hair, couple scars on their face. Looks like they've died a couple times. Nods and like begins walking off. They're all within like visual like eye shot. So you can see them talking to average height, scholarly looking young lady. Whose hair is very, very tightly braided out of her face, and she, it takes a moment for her to take her attention from her conversation that she's having, but then she's like, "Oh wait, shit, visitors!" Looks over and then like trots over. Hi. My name is Maya. My companion here says that you are at the top of the mountain, where there was apparently a
Yes.
pillar.
A what?
Yes, there's been a couple pillars in the area where we're doing some research. We haven't made it up there yet. We're kind of still looking over here in the area with all the I don't know if you've heard of the sightings and such, where people are like getting potentially turned into monsters.
Well,
or...
yes. We know about that. There was supposed to be a pillar up there.
Oh, that's not what Professor Villette told us. She said that there was definitely a couple pillars in the directions over here west of the river.
Professor Villette is here.
Yes, I'm one of her aides and assistants.
May we please speak with her?
She should be back soon. She went out with another guard and traveler. We hired some travelers to assist us for protection. I cannot wield a sword whatsoever, and Professor Villette's getting up there in years. So, but yeah, she should be back soon.
Where did she go?
She went to go look at some of the remains of some unfortunate folks who have been turned into creatures.
See. Before we continue, what is your name? What do we call you?
Maya.
Maya. Pleasure. I'm Luce. That's Mariana. That's Vago. And you've met the charm, Hale.
Very charming, yes.
He's quite delightful. She actually makes no sarcasm, no nothing. He's delightful.
If we could just do a quick once-over for you to make sure you didn't bring in whatever's been going on with the monsters, that would be wonderful.
Define once over.
Just a small spell that I was taught. That's all. I promise it will not do you any harm. It's just to some of the ink stuff that's And she's just kind of like wilting under your gaze a little bit.
How tall is she, by the way?
Shorter
Yeah.
than you.
Oh.
She's like
Most
5'4".
people are.
5'4", 5'5".
Oh.
Oh yeah, and
no.
I'm 5'10" also, so
If it is a non-evasive spell, I will offer to go first.
It's not invasive. You might feel a little bit of a tingle.
Mariana has her hand like not like on her sword, but like ready, because she's very, like I said, very suspicious of groups of people working together for one cause. So it's just ready to protect if needed.
May I?
By all means.
And she like dips her finger in like a small vial of ink and just does like a small symbol in the air. Luce, the way she casts this spell seems familiar, though you've never. This woman does not look familiar to you. You don't know her, but she casts this small spell, and you just feel a little tingle over your body, Hale, and that's it. Okay. It doesn't look like whatever's been on this side of the river has gotten to you. May I do the rest?
She walks forward and stands like almost at attention to the glaive at her side, because she's holding it, but she does not have it necessarily holstered.
I believe that's a yes.
Can I also do you two as well? I can get it in one go, since he offered to go first to make sure it was safe.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Mariana will look at Hale.
I'm fine, Mariana. I promise.
And she casts this spell again. You all feel this little tingliness. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I can lead you into the professor's office while you wait till she gets back. She should be back soon. It's getting dark out. It did take like a good chunk of the day to get here, from the mountain to here. If you don't mind waiting.
Oh, I've been cooped up on the mountaintop for far longer. Do you mind if I stretch my legs around camp and then meet you?
Sure. It's that one right there. And she points to the larger, like kind of war council-ish tent with like a dark blue roof.
Noted. Thank you, Maya.
Okay. Do you wait?
I say wait. It does not have to be repeat, but I do think Luce very quietly asks Maya if that's a spell that's commonly taught or commonly understood.
Oh, no. Professor Villette taught me. How long does it take you to go back, Hale, into the tent?
Maybe like a 30-minute walk around camp just to get the lay of the land and then in.
The four of you after Hale gets back are waiting about another 30 minutes. Just from my mental concern, my mental image, not mental concern, mental image, where are y'all sitting in relation to the entrance?
If there are seats that are like presented towards a desk, essentially Hale will take a corner seat
There's like some logs. There's no real seats, just like a couple logs.
off to the side.
Bold of you to
Take a
assume I
more-
sit.
I had to choose a word. Where do you
Mariana
stand?
standing, also facing the doorway, back to. I know they're not walls, but back to the
Tent
wall.
flaps?
Like yes, but making sure that she's not close to one that's like open.
Yeah.
Vago will probably take a seat on a log that's a little bit more central, like not as like corner, not like a corner log like Hale is.
And where are you situated, Luce?
I think standing on the other side of if there's a table or anything of a war council spot, I think the other side, or whatever Mariana's side is, she's on the other side, kind of mirroring her. But I think she kind of figures, after the response Maya had, that outside of the folks who've been hired, they're all terrified of her by sheer presence alone. So she's not that worried. So she's just sort of watching the door, but the holstered blade, put it up and is just waiting with arms crossed. But she can't put her arms too tightly because it hurts too much when she does that. She lost half her health, y'all. It's gonna hurt for a while.
So 30 minutes waiting, Hale comes back. In another 30 minutes, y'all are waiting a little longer. At this point, the sun has more or less set behind the horizon. It's pretty dark in the woods, and only the barest of light could be seen from outside the tent flap. And eventually, an older woman comes in. Her head is down. She's looking, her hands are just flipping through a book, making notes, and she's absentmindedly talking. Maya told me that I had some guests. Thank you very much. Sorry, hi. I am Professor Villette, and I have been told that you have gone up to the mountain. And she stops, and she looks up at the four of you. And she is this much older woman. She's a little shorter than Maya. She's about 5'2" on a good day, her shoulders are hunched and her hair is mostly white at the top, but the very, very end of her roots, which is in a braid, which is hanging to her side, are this darkish reddish brown. And she's wearing spectacles. She has wrinkles on her face. And the way she holds her paperwork, her hands seem to be swollen with arthritis and pain. And as you all turn to look at her, you just see this older woman. Luce, when you see this woman, you see her. And for a split second, instead of this older woman that you see the image of who she once was. A beautiful young woman, dark auburn red hair with a braid at her back, wearing heavy leather armor and a sword on her back, the cross guard wrapped in a beautiful scarlet embroidered handkerchief. A very competent fighter mage in her own right. And that image, gone. And then when she looks around at all four of your faces, the book she was holding falls to the ground and she's staring at you, Lou. And she only says 2 words. Calla Lily? And that's where we're going to end the session. I think I broke Angela.
Boy.
Can I get a card call? Okay. We're gonna decompress after this. We're gonna go around, say hey, who we are, where you can find us. Angela's gonna go last. Thank you for joining us. Who would like to start?
I'm Amber. You can find me all over the internet at analog_Amber. I'm a Twitch streamer who loves to focus on charity campaigning and giving back. June is coming up, which means Pride, which means we will be having a Pride charity campaign. So keep an eye on the channel for that. I use she/they pronouns, and I am fucking shook right now.
Hi everybody, I'm RJ, and you can catch me at RJS22 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things of my life and sometimes scream about things that are happening in my games. And whenever I go live, I normally retweet wherever I am. So come check out my Twitter, because I also shitpost and scream, mostly.
I can go next. Hi, my name is Bishik Matange. Go by he, him. You can find me at Neon Raiden, Neon_Raiden on Twitter. I'm just a voice actor who likes Tokusatsu, Kamen Rider, Sentai, the whole shebang. Sorry, I'm still processing this emotional bomb that we've just been dealt. Give me a follow if you like all that stuff. And yeah.
You want me to go or do you want to go?
Hi, folks. I'm Angela. Luce and I both use she, her pronouns. We both dissociate. It's great. You can find me over on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. PST, 1 p.m. EST, and I think it's 6 p.m. BST, or I think it's British Standard Time or EU time. I can't remember which EU time it is, but for running Afterlife Hotel Nexus and Afterlife Wandering Souls game, in which our party of dead folks who have not been allowed to move onward to the afterlife have arrived at the hotel, and now we're going to explore and are going to discover a whole bunch of emotional shit. And I willingly signed up to run this during the same time, like during the week, the same weeks that I have this game, which is every week. So this is going to be fun for me. I'm good. Go, Mary.
Fine.
Don't collapse now.
Hi, I'm Mary. You can find me on Twitter at Archmage of Dice. Every Sunday at 6 p.m. here, I'm running Printweaver Poet Pillars of Ink. And you can also find me on Sorting Key on Thursdays for about 3 more sessions. I have, I'm running a game of Invisible Sun called Fraying Threads. We're coming back from our couple-week break this Thursday on the 1st of June at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I'm also playing a Centaur Soul Knife Rogue Stars Druid in a nautical campaign called Horizon's Call on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. So, we're having a guest next week. Hell yeah, join us, a very cool guest. But anyway, hello. We are going to be raiding Alley Peach Senpai, so please stick around for the raid. And check out all the other channels that are on Neon Lights Roleplay. Schedule is on the Twitter or join our Discord. Have a lovely evening, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Bye!